play later night. I was like, I looked at the players, I was like, ByuN, dog, you guys can play, stop playing at like 10 p.m., right? You'll be fine. Considering Dark replied to my message about when he was going to play at like 5 a.m. Korean time, I get the feeling he's probably going to be pretty okay playing 10 p.m. till midnight or so tonight. Let's kickstart it in the bottom left-hand side with the red Protoss player from Sidestorm Gaming. It's MaxPax, and he's going to have to get his defense on because, well, in the top right, our blue Terran already SCVs across the map from the Shopify Rebellion. This is ByuN. Alright, immediately 2 proxy barracks going down. And this has been something which we've obviously seen a little bit from the pig event when ByuN and MaxPax played each other. These proxy racks and being aggressive has been quite intriguing. There's a couple of racks coming through, he gets it up. Couple of racks coming through, just see the refinery coming out, and we do have ourselves the gas finishing up as well, as both these racks will finish, and it is just going to be Marines at first because the gas is obviously quite late. As MaxPax scouts this, he'll know it's a proxy. The question is, what kind of proxy is it? The gas timing, if he clicks on how much gas is being mined, can let you know that this can't be a Reaper proxy or anything, and can maybe let you know to be a bit safer. He did go Zealot first, but he will still put down the expansion as we bunker up at the front. And we're going to pull probes to try and stop this from getting set up. So, probe is patrolling over here. As we do see our probes trying to get through for that first Marine. One probe already dropping down. The second Marine now showing up. And we do have the Zealot to help out too. The bunker about halfway done. We're going to try and get the SCV back onto it. Now he puts some damage onto that Zealot. Stalker on the way. The question is, can we get back to that bunker and start building it before the Stalker pops out? The SCV gets into the front. A hero saves the Marine, blocks the Zealot from reaching the Marines. And now we can kill off the Zealot, but I don't think we get the bunker up before the Stalker gets here. Stalker just needs to target fire that SCV for 1 second, and boom, it goes down. ByuN has the Marines, though, to put the Stalker on low HP. Chases it up to the high ground. Stalker in trouble. Very low HP. Obviously, the battery's on the low ground. And these few Marines can get some work done as the probes will pull. So we work our way through the probe count. Can we actually finish off that Stalker? Seems like no, we cannot. So those couple of Marines will be just about done there. The 2 Marines low ground will work their way through the battery still. So taking away the battery healing from the low ground position. I mean, it will heal up that Stalker for a couple of moments. We have a new SCV about to arrive. If this bunker goes up, this Natural is in trouble, especially with no bunker alive on it. ByuN turns the SCVs around. He realizes that just wasn't going to happen. Needed to pull them so much sooner. And ByuN says that this just isn't good enough at all. There's no transition out of this from here, apparently. It's just GG's. I guess his factory was still built and all the Marines were lost. And that's going to be MaxPax winning a quick 2 players that a lot of people enjoy seeing play. As we will have in the bottom left-hand corner, the red Terran from the Shopify Rebellion. This is ByuN. And in the top right-hand corner, the blue Protoss player, Sidestorm's MaxPax. Well, ByuN immediately will go to proxy in a barracks again, but it's just a single rack to start with this time at least. So a single barracks proxy. Obviously very different from the first game with the double racks. This is just going to be a Reaper compared to a, double Marine production or so, which you could have maybe expected otherwise. So yeah, not too crazy. Will be a little different following through this time around. Next about to complete. And the first Reaper on the way. It is going to be a Zealot first again here from MaxPax, who is not scouted, by the way, so no vision on the map for him. Just playing that Zealot, and I mean, MaxPax likes building the Zealot and just sending it across the map. Even a large map like Altitude seems to enjoy that, so we will have the Zealot popping. That will help a lot against the Reaper because it just gives the Reaper something to run away from pretty much consistently. As the Deeper goes down, factory's on the way. And that barracks is going to lift off, and the Reaper is going to get sliced at by the Zealot initially. Some damage taken. Let's see if the Reaper can do anything at all. Obviously, he has to run from the Zealot, kind of putting himself in dangerous position there as he loops around the mineral line. Will get a probe kill in the end, so one probe going down, but only the one. I don't imagine there's going to be much else as the Reaper is low HP. Arix is already flying home. Factory at home builds a reactor on the follow-up, and MaxPax will choose to play Stargate following this first Reaper. So Stalker out. Tough for the Reaper to do much at all right now. This factory might just have to go immediately into Widow Mines as just a way to defend initial gateway units. If you go Hellions, I'm not sure what we're really going to be able to build, and the barracks is flying home, so you have no bio unit production, you have no Rax units popping out just to help defend against the first couple units, so kind of does have to probably be a couple mines off the factory straight away. Throw those on the ramp, and then, at least for a while, it should be able to hold off any of the initial Protoss aggression, because those first two units are coming across the map. They're walking across the other side as we speak. We do have the two Widow Mines build immediately out of ByuN. Not that mines are bad to build, because obviously you can mine drop with them after as well. So you are completely forced into it here as the Zealot Stalker comes in. ByuN scouts and sees the Phoenix, so Phoenix follow-up. I love that because obviously now you're kind of talking about as MaxPax, you probably move across and thinking, well, he probably does have to build mines, and if you think he has to build mines, then building Phoenix means you're very likely able to defend against mines very easily, so you're limiting what they can do in the future. And obviously with the scout of the Phoenix from ByuN, he goes straight into a Viking and now a Cyclone and Marines. It's just building up everything that's quite good against Phoenix, all of the anti-air units essentially. I don't think we can really complain about that, right? Just solid opening, everyone kind of going through the phases and reacting properly to their opponent and what is happening. So neither player really getting caught off guard, neither player getting pushed into a tough position straight away. They're both just going to remain in a very playable position off of the start here. Yes, guys, MaxPax is up one game. Sorry, I've not set the scoreboard at the start. As you have the Widow Mine, takes a little shot of damage. The Cyclone locks on. Stalker gets pushed back. The Warp Gate just now finishing, so MaxPax can warp in a few more units. He's still building Phoenix. We'll drop the Robo Facility as well. 4 gases, and we're expecting the Robo Bay sooner rather than later to really establish the tech for MaxPax moving into the mid-game now. First Widow Mine shot onto the Phoenix is nice. I mean, anytime you get one of the Phoenix low, makes an easier target for later. And of course, when you have this kind of little bit of splash as well, it's just a bit of time here where the Phoenix will maybe not be as aggressive as they could have been as well. So another kind of bonus for you to play around as ByuN, as now we do move out. Raven, Marines, 2 Cyclones, and 1 Viking. The Raven, the interesting part of this, obviously, Ravens work a lot against the Phoenix and stuff, but every time I see a Raven against Phoenix, you guys know what I'm going to say. It's so freaking vulnerable. It's so easy to lose it. That Raven is not a guaranteed unit you can keep alive because it is just easily taken down. The Phoenix can absolutely swarm it and just destroy it so quickly. Gotta be very careful with that as the units of ByuN pull back down to the south into the natural. Teen on Pain. 2529, thank you so much for the Prime sub for 2 months. Welcome back. Thanks for supporting the channel today. Thanks for using your Prime. Right here on WardiTV as our Stimpack will continue to produce. The Phoenix is still working around the left-hand side. Gonna head into the main base for a moment here where we grab an SCV. And now moving into the main where we can grab a couple more of those SCVs as well. Cyclones get lifted, they're taking out the equation. We do have the Raven getting jumped on. It's gonna go down. A few Marines pushing through. 1 Widow Mine went off. Well, this is why this is why I like mentioning the Raven, guys, because when it does go down, I feel very justified. And obviously, like I say, this goes down so easily, it wasn't really a challenge for the Phoenix. And what, trading out a Phoenix for a Raven? I mean, we lost 2 Phoenix. I think a Phoenix for a Raven is always great. Just getting rid of the Raven in general, there's so much utility a Terran has with that. Usually it's easy enough for the Phoenix to get rid of it, so it's almost always a good thing to do. But the fact we lost 2 is obviously a bit more substantial, because a lot of the time you can kill the Raven without losing 1. Yo, Savant, wow, thank you so much for the Prime sub as well. Thanks for clicking the buttons on the stream today. Appreciate it. Thanks for choosing us. As our Phoenix will see the Orbital Command landing over here. Obviously, Colossi, the follow-up. You know, you talk about two Phoenix. It's awkward. It's only something you doubt because it's like, well, I've seen the Phoenix kill the Raven on top of Marines and Cyclones and no Phoenix go down. We're only criticizing it because it's possible to do it with losing less. But at the end of the day, killing the Raven's always amazing because now it's not usable against the Colossi. In general, it's not just something that can hit an anti-armor missile. It's just so good to get rid of. Again, the utility it provides the Terran player is so high. So yeah, getting rid of that, knocking that down is fantastic. As you do see the 1-1 upgrades, Colossus range, charge, all of that's still building through at the moment. One of the main things about this style is that you kind of stop ByuN from playing how ByuN likes to play. ByuN loves to play aggressively, but, you know, ByuN loves to play out on the map and everything. And, in this case, he's, being held back because that's exactly how Phoenix Colossus works. You can't move out against the Phoenix easily. If you do get across the map, there's Colossi lying in wait. You play very safe. You don't rush to the third base as the Protoss player. Now, ByuN's going to start moving out a bit more, and maybe we'll see if he has some opportunities. It's a massive map, so there's a lot of space to move around. There's a lot of time it takes to get across to the other side. These are all factors to consider. We make our way through this stage of the game. MaxPax hits charge. He's getting the gateway count up so he can warp in those Zealots in big ways. He's getting 1-1 as well. ByuN not going 2-2. Very typical for the Terran players to say, instead of 2-2 upgrades, that it's a priority to get Ghosts. And sometimes the Vikings as well. In this case, probably absolutely some Vikings, although he hasn't built any yet. Just going to play Ghost Bio initially against this Phoenix Colossus. On this map, that's not actually so bad because there's so much open space. The Terran coming out and surrounding this army with just pure Bio and sometimes negate the need for the Vikings, at least early on. Later on, having like 10 plus Vikings can be very good once you can afford 10 plus Vikings much more easily. That's almost always a good thing to be doing instead. 2-2 starting from ByuN. 3 extra racks on the way, the depots, a couple more mines and SCVs all popping out as well as the 2 Cyclones get the Zealot there, so the Zealot will go down. Taking the Watchtower at the same time, and our Phoenix still hanging out overhead for the moment. Prism halfway done, the Zealot's producing. The +2 attack upgrade coming out on the Forge. Cyclone taking that Watchtower, MaxPax making some moves into the middle of the map as well. It's a lot of Colossi, a good chunk of Zealots. Yeah, a couple of snipes down immediately to clear some of those Zealots out, so picking up a few of those straight away. 2-2 upgrades, Blink. All of that coming through for the moment. Good EMPs landing on a chunk of the Phoenix. Phoenix gonna have no energy left. Well, there's one Widow Mine still standing at the front, dealing with some Zealots in the base before this army moves forward. I feel like ByuN has a decent amount of fight with here, but the Colossi are a concern. Clearing up Zealots on the other side, man. The Colossi are just getting so much, and there's 4 of them. Not having any way to fight Colossi. Like, you kind of need the surround, right, at this stage? If you don't have Vikings, it gets to the point where you need the surround, and obviously ByuN's not in a position to set up a surround because he's pushed back in his natural. Probably needs to refresh the EMPs. He does have Ghost with energy from the left side. Widow Mines against Alpha. There's actually one still available. We dropped the first EMP onto the Phoenix initially. Soften those up again. ByuN more Ghosts. About to have 2-2. Is that enough for him to actually take this fight? This is a very tricky scenario. He's tiptoeing around it for the moment, just trying to avoid the larger fight from happening. The Marauder taking a couple of shots. The Colossus lasers coming by. A couple Ghosts will come forward again. EMPing straight onto the Zealots there, so boom for that. As we stem forward, and here is the surround we've been mentioning. There is a Disruptor mixed in there. It's going to come up the ramp into the natural. It hits pretty decently. The Zealots on the top side are blocking that flank. But it looks like ByuN is kind of pushing it back. MaxPax still has plenty of units, and more Zealots arriving too. There's a new round of Widow Mines setting up. I tell you what, though, a lot of these units of ByuN are already stimmed hard. So they're going to be low on HP. However, we've knocked down every single Phoenix. The reinforcing Disruptor will go down in an instant. No chance of doing anything. And can we get those Widow Mines a chance to fire again? They're necessary against these Zealots, it feels like. We do have a lot of EMPs still available. If we can keep resetting the EMPs on that army, then brilliant. Hits a big one there. All the Colossi, pretty much the Immortal, and a lot of the Zealots. There's one Colossus that still has full shields. But, yeah, just making it so that MaxPax doesn't feel comfortable committing into the fight. A couple of Widow Mines go down again. They're not really providing much value then if the Colossi lays them before they get burrowed. Oh, now we're going to come in for the surround on all sides again, but the army on the top side is going to catch a Zealot reinforcement line. The Disruptor kind of goes a bit too far. That should have probably been worse for ByuN. Can he get on top of the Colossi? It still doesn't seem like he can. The units from the top are finally making it through. Can they change things? 2 Ghosts, 2 Marauders down in the Disruptor shot, but the Disruptors, oh, they're getting so much done. The Colossi are being chased. This is where the Terran finds the most value when the Protoss is thoroughly on the run. We've got a random Viking showing up, and we will kill this Colossus. Every Colossus dies, and ByuN cleans out MaxPax from this side of the map. Wow, he does it in the end. It was scary, man. Multiple Disruptor shots went through and connected during that fight. It had to be the massive surround, and it was kind of awkward. The army from the top getting caught by that warping of Zealots, and it won out, but not having that flank arrive for a while felt like the rest of ByuN's force just didn't do enough for a long time. Got there in the end, and now ByuN straight to the counter-offensive. Now MaxPax is playing Stalker Disruptor, and on the defense, that is very good, but ByuN, can believe in his micro and go back and forth quite a lot, and just believe in his ability to kind of hit EMPs, snipe off a couple of units here and there, and just continue working that idea. As Zealots charging through, though, are going to get rid of these ghosts, and maybe ByuN has overstepped the mark on how aggressive he can be. If he loses everything here, he's in trouble. Reinforcements are setting up. Medevac's drained of energy too, by the way. Might even need some new ones, although he doesn't currently have any... Yeah, he doesn't currently have any real kind of Vikings, well, any Viking production needed, I guess, because he doesn't have Colossi to play against. Little mine drop, got 4 probes overall. Disruptors here still clearing out some mines, or at least trying to. They actually went in between 2 mines that shot. That's quite impressive, fitting the Disruptor between 2 mines. Couldn't have done that before the Disruptor nerf. They're going to load up in a big way. That's a Widow Mine that's actually going to get, if ByuN's paying attention, he doesn't. He could have had a few more probes than that just because it gets to go off again and you could have target fight it, but yeah, that's not going to be the case. He is obviously looking at other things. Those are mines which very much so you just leave, right? They've been set up, they've done their first drop. If they get any more, brilliant, but anything else, whatever. Good catch, amazing catch on these Disruptors. Suddenly MaxPax loses his entire splash damage contingent, and that is going to be really tough for him all of a sudden now. Is this pretty much pure gateway units? Another Disruptor from the wrong side. Where are they going? The Disruptors have a mind of their own there. They're meant to be in, top lane, and they're in mid lane. Get back to your lane, mate. Play with your teammate. God damn it, I'll report you. Toxic feeders. Yeah. Disruptors trying to be MOBA players. Cosplay day, apparently. Disruptors. They're not Disruptors. They're Dark Templar. Dark Templar not getting much done on the initial planetary on the left side, so they actually back away, which is a rare sight. I guess they don't have Shadow Strides, so they can't go blinking on top of bases just yet. "15 minutes in, we are maxed out on both sides of this TvP. Shadow Stride finishing shortly. Widow Mine shot there. We'll grab just a Zealot or 2. A couple more Disruptors still being brought into play. Well, when DT comes around, or Command Center takes a few shots, we will knock the DT down pretty much immediately. So just going to take that away there. And a few more Zealots being shot at, being pushed away for the moment as we have the army of ByuN back around at the bottom right. Zealot holds out on the watchtower in the gold base. We pick our way through the Zealot for a few moments as well. Stalkers come in. Just going to knock down everything as another Disruptor shot will fire. Pulse coming through, a couple cannons coming up. I'm going to go stimming in this right-hand side now. Knocks down a couple of the pylons in the front there. And, well, this base is kind of just a goner. We're going to take down every probe. MaxPax with a big counterattack on the bottom side. Zealot DT is something he has to lean on heavily right now. He needs a way to keep dealing damage throughout this. Few Zealots come through, knocking down the missile turret. We're going to actually get over here and pick our way through those few Zealots as well. On the right side, those few Zealots are going to come through as well. Widow Mine shots connecting. Do quite a bit. Medevac loads, we evacuate away. We will just see 5 SCVs going down. It's a pretty decent defense from ByuN when you're only losing a handful of workers to what was a lot of Zealot DT. It's generally going to be a good thing. You know, it's very possible to lose a lot in those scenarios as the Stalker. The Stalker did do its job. Colossus, can we stop? Thank you. I was going to say, Mr. Colossus, there's no need. You hit the Stalker to friendly fire the Widow Mine, but then he just kept on killing it. He's like, Stalkers, you didn't do your job this game. That's a scan on these DTs. Do they have the blink away? They do not. They at least found a ghost or so before going down, so some value there. Bigger army now from MaxPax top left, and ByuN is not in position to deal with this. He's going to lose a base. He'll go and recancel the base building on the right side, and potentially will be able to do a lot more than that as well. He's going to lose all of those SCVs, however. Like I say, he should be able to do more than just kill this base. The next base along should be a target as well. We're going to try and recall. That's dangerous for MaxPax, honestly, because, well, ByuN can kill off the first Disruptor very quickly. He obviously had EMPs to land there too, and you just have to make sure you've got enough in that scenario, but like I say, risky at first. Now a Disruptor shot just went off to the sides. All the Disruptors go down, and this recall has been a disaster, because now we've lost everything. We're going to lose a lot of probes as well, and this Bioforce might be low, but it is going to get a bit of final value before it goes down. The Medivacs are low. They're not going to be able to get away. The Stalkers would have blinked, but we traded out very well here as ByuN, who is still clearing up some offense of MaxPax on the other side of the map as he takes another attempt of a 5th base. Did lose that top left side before. Keeping this essentially down to 4 bases each, going toward 5 bases. Very cool. Colossi and Stalkers of MaxPax move through the middle of the map. Do you have a couple of orbitals still building here? PTs come in, picking off a Marine straight away, knocking down on that bottom side. SCVs pull in to repair the planetary. Oh, with enough damage on the DTs, we deny it. That's a huge loss for MaxPax, an expensive loss. Losing that amount of Dark Templar, but not actually killing off the base. Such an expense, and ByuN, well, he might lose this one. He might have to replace it with an orbital, but it's kind of feels as though MaxPax's army is going to be in trouble here. Recall's on cooldown, so he doesn't have a get out of jail free card this time. Disruptor's good at forcing the bio back. We killed a Colossus. Can ByuN continue up the left side, perhaps? ByuN is down 20 workers, replacing that base for the moment. Up about 20 army supply only. Obviously, with the lack of workers, not having the income to keep replenishing in a game that is just so trade heavy at the moment. So Widow Mines get burrowed up. They're likely to do a lot. Let's see what happens. We blink away from one shot. We are looking for that Disruptor kill. Anytime you can kill the Disruptors, you're generally going to rejoice. But they just about managed to slip away. And MaxPax still has position to launch onto this base again. These are orbitals now. They should lift off to minimize the Zealot damage at least. So it's only now Stalkers that can really hit these bases and knock them down. ByuN just can't find a way to attack in. It's so many Zealots. The Disruptors are very concerning. You've got to take, really kind of respect those in these battles. So even though that ByuN had a really good army supply, he just couldn't do much there. Now he is dropping across the map again. If you can't push into your opponent's army, counter-attack them and do some damage of your own. He's already killed off 13 probes. This base will absolutely go down. This is one of the fresher bases of MaxPax. The top left is kind of mining out as well. So in general, MaxPax doesn't have a lot of building and economy himself. ByuN's still trying to defend over here. MaxPax says, well, this time it's my turn to keep on going. You've got a lot of units across the map. I've got nothing to defend that. So let's try and take advantage of it by just never letting up on this side of the map. Knock down another base. Honestly, base is just buying time. Any unit that pops out right now for ByuN is a big win, as MaxPax can barely afford any amount of reinforcements. A couple of Widow Mines getting to go off, softening up some of these Zealots for future trades. Bio continuing up this ramp. A gateway will be going down. Both of these orbitals getting shot at as well. Orbital Command taking some extra shots. The Stalkers will work through it, and we do see our Colossi able to get some damage onto those couple of Marauders as well. The DT's now down to the south side, ready to push in. Disruptor fires, doesn't quite land. Big drop into the main base. Our Cybercore, our Warp Gates, all getting knocked down as well here, as we do have MaxPax still up about 30 workers. Army supply trailing by 20, but he's losing the production to build back up with. Still being trying to rotate onto these bases of ByuN, and he is going to find this south base now, as I don't know if ByuN just lost track of his opponent. Does ByuN notice these DTs? If these DTs attack, that might actually be a mistake. Wouldn't mind there gets taken down. ByuN's going to go on the chase for those Dark Templar. It's a lot of supply at an important part of the game. Oh, he's just going to counterattack onto bases himself. Turn into an all-out base trade. And just continues kind of bunch of chaos this game. 22 minutes in. Well, I said after that first game, we don't have many short matches in this event. And this is definitely not going to be one of them as this game too. I still think is leaning toward ByuN. He's obviously down a map in the series as well, so that's also notable. MaxPax is maybe just going to start bunkering up and making sure he can't be broken on that top side base. Just hold one final position as he lets the DTs put some work in across the map again, finding a bunch of SCVs. That's, well, that's 3/4 of ByuN's remaining economy, or 2/3 or so. ByuN doesn't have a lot of SCVs left, and then long distance mining back to the main. Not pretty. Suddenly MaxPax just holding out on a base and getting some production up might go a long way for him. 5 SCVs remain. ByuN's broke. Can't really afford to rebuild SCVs even. Having to spend a lot of his money on scans as we do escape out of here. That's poor Marauder that was left behind as we do knock a few probes down here as well. So anything you can do to shut down some MaxPax mining. ByuN is on 1 SCV, guys. Obviously he can put a bit of money out as... Whoa, he stemmed past these DTs. I thought he knew about them, but I think he was going towards another one that was hitting things. But he doesn't have the scan right now. He will kill one. Up 50-ish, 40-ish army supply still is ByuN. MaxPax moving forward. Let's be careful of the mines too. I mean, any unit right now is super valuable. We recall the DTs out. Oh, we kill a Disruptor with a Widow Mine shot. MaxPax is rebuilding a Disruptor though. Like, I mean, ByuN has to go. Like, he's lost all of his economy, so he doesn't gain anything from waiting. Like, beforehand, he might have benefited a little bit from just hanging around, waiting a little bit, but these DTs have kind of guaranteed that that's not the case. So now you kind of have to just go, otherwise, you don't really have... this game doesn't get better for you, basically, as ByuN. It only gets worse from here. If MaxPax can mine and MaxPax can keep building, and it's not going to be fun attacking up this ramp, but if you go from 2 sides, it's plausible, it's doable, right? I don't know if you even go from, if you want to go from 2 sides, or we're going to play this a bit more slowly. Obviously, you want to hit EMPs on absolutely everything. We will be able to deny this base up here. That's a massive stim. Unfortunately, the Medivacs have a lot of energy available. If MaxPax runs down the ramp, then ByuN could engage from the bottom and from the top, actually. So the DTs will do some damage. Here we go. ByuN jumps forward. The first Disruptors are already going down. That Disruptor shot, though, is massive. The next one is decent. Still a 30 army supply lead here for ByuN. He goes back up the right side, finishes off this base. DTs across the map are putting in work, and MaxPax is only going to have one single location left for himself. He might even want to pull probes in, right? Because at this stage, the probes could do some serious tanking. They could actually be very viable. I really felt like ByuN was just going to go all out on that one attack. MaxPax can only long distance mine. This base that he has is actually not, got minerals left. So he doesn't actually have economy there like, well, even like I initially thought. I mentioned it earlier, I guess, that this was one of the first bases taken. So it's not surprising that he doesn't have anything left. A couple ghosts drop into the main base. They'll clean up that DT. As ByuN can mule, of course, some of these bases as well. He has that energy if you don't want to use the scans on the DTs. And he will drop a couple of mules down. He's going to leave a couple of ghosts here to protect this location. Ghosts can EMP the DT, right? So as MaxPax gets a round of minerals back to the top, ByuN letting that long distancing happen. And I'm kind of surprised about how he's going about this, no? I mean, I get it that obviously diving on that army is terrifying. And you do have a lot... Oh, what a split. I was going to say, you have a lot of Medivacs yourself, which are actually eating up a lot of the supply, or a lot of the army supply, so it's not as many fighting units as you might initially think, but... Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, I guess. We're getting a lot more Marines, and your mule mining here will outdo easily the income of MaxPax. At least I thought it would. It's actually kind of even as the Ghosts die, so I mean, the Ghost defense doesn't really work out. ByuN gets in position to deny the long distance, though, so he's going to get rid of a handful of those probes. Temple Archive starts from MaxPax. Those couple of ghosts in the south, kind of expensive. I'm kind of wondering if MaxPax goes into some... I mean, I imagine he goes into Archons here. 22 probes left. They're not doing anything, so MaxPax has no income any longer. It's probably just because he has so much gas, right? It's not even about the fact that like, ByuN has ghosts or not or whatever. As ByuN dives fully for that Disruptor! Oh my god, that had to be a correct call, otherwise he lost everything. Oh my god. How do you play games like this? Your heartbeat's got to be through the freaking roof. A disruptor kill to save your tournament life. How many disruptors are left? 1. 3 Colossi, 1 disruptor. The probes are back over here, by the way. Long distance saying, uh-oh, ByuN's going to be able to get rid of a bunch of them. Colossi moving forward. EMPs would be big on this fight. You stim again. Fortunately, that medevac count is very high, so you can get away with all of these stims, even if you don't fully commit into the army during it. Disruptor doesn't hit anything. That's the last disruptor going down. ByuN's not afraid anymore. If there's no disruptor shots, you can't lose the army. And he just dives on through. The super battery isn't in range of anything. And 28 minutes will crown ByuN victor of this game 2. GG's. ByuN is going to tie it up here with MaxPax. In the bottom right-hand corner, it is going to be our blue Protoss player. Not able to hold out in that long game. This is MaxPax. In the top left, our red Terran is going to be from the Shopify Rebellion, ByuN. Like I need a moment or two just to chill out following that previous game. Get caught back up again. Okay, we're coming through. Probe coming up. All of this getting set to go here. Game number 3. Gate about to come online. Barracks about to come online. Everything looking good for the moment to just have a bit of a normal start. Again, we've had a lot of proxy heavy starts so far in this match. And this one may actually be able to steer away from that just a little bit at least. Obviously still with these two aggressive setups following on from this are still absolutely a possibility, so don't count that out. Just you know, We'll see where we go. Obviously, MaxPax loves going for the 4-gate blink. For a long time in PvT, he was actually kind of just only 4-gate blinking, it felt like. That was just what MaxPax did. And one day, he was like, by the way, I can do other things. And then suddenly his PvT became a whole new beast of a matchup. It was kind of incredible. Yeah, I remember Gaston one day, I was like, wait, he doesn't have full gateways, guys. And he played this sick macro game. I was like, whoa. Guys, I think MaxPax might be the real deal, you know? Ring comes over, a probe gets dropped, and the Stargate is already building from MaxPax to show us the starting point of this game. It's a much shorter map when it comes to, you know, how this will play compared to Altitude. Rush distance much shorter, much more compact. Stargate can be a bit riskier if ByuN hits aggressive timings, but Phoenix Colossus can be great as well, because if you just defend, pushing across the map becomes so much easier as well. Dep comes through, Widowmine gets burrowed. We'll have our Adept just move around a little bit, try and see what's going on. They're trying to move up there to set off the Widowmine, but it does not go off, so ByuN will be able to keep the Widowmine active. The Adept gets in, which forces the Marines to turn around and chase it for a moment. It will not commit to the shade, but the Marines have to respect the possibility that it could. We reposition the Widowmine and maybe get a catch on something, but it is just going to be Phoenix, and, well, we'll see if the Phoenix gets adventurous enough that a Widowmine elsewhere in the main can actually get a connection and maybe make a difference at all. Marines just going to go peeling back. Phoenix still producing. A couple of Adepts get into the main. One in the natural, one into the main. There's some damage there. Just going to grab one Adept straight away. The other Adept coming around the back, top. And the Phoenix actually lifting up a couple of those Marines. Yeah, Yeah, fun. Actually, the Widowmine there puts a lot of damage onto the SCVs, which, if the Adept had stayed alive, would have just one-shot through a bunch of them, which I was about to say, that can be really dangerous. Phoenix getting some shots on the Raven. ByuN will not let that go down just yet. But, of course, it will remain a target throughout this game. We talked about it a lot last game, of course. And nothing really changed from Game 2 to Game 3. The Phoenix will absolutely want to get rid of that Raven. Try and take it out of the equation sooner rather than later, just to make life that much simpler. Cyclone lock on to knock away some shots on the Phoenix. So the Phoenix have to pull back away from there. Do you have our concussive shell still building up as well? So that will be about halfway done at the moment. RoboBase still producing. MaxPax just controlling the game with the Phoenix, trying to find those pickoffs. That's why the Cyclone is nice, because if the Phoenix just kind of venture in, you can get the lock on and at least get some damage done. Whereas otherwise, how do you really get damage onto these Phoenix without them fully committing? And if the Phoenix are fully committing, it's probably not good for you as ByuN, because then MaxPax has seen something that he likes and that he believes in. So yeah, that would not be ideal, in all honesty. ByuN continues into all of his upgrades. The racks are putting in the work. And he actually has double Raven, by the way. This was something we've seen a little bit more of as of late, as get rid of one, and, well, this time we do lose one Phoenix, but one Raven down. What if the other Raven, you just never expect the second Raven, right? And now the Raven's going to be game-changing, because MaxPax doesn't expect it. It's going to show up in cast abilities. MaxPax's like, wait, didn't I just kill you? He's like, no, you killed my brother. Bam, 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 interference barracks. Win the game. Something like that, I don't know. I don't know what Ravens sound like, but that's apparently how I imagine Ravens talking. Cyclone to, again, just zone the Phoenix a little bit. This is the point where the Terran wants to move out. The upgrades are finishing. At home, there's already one Colossus. There's soon to be two. And like I say, there's still a Raven, which we're keeping away from the Phoenix. And if we can Matrix both Colossi, what if ByuN can just collapse on the arm? I mean, it becomes a very viable possibility, right? Phoenix still getting shoved back, not able to reach. We've got a battery on this third base. Second Colossus is just finished up. It's moving around right now. Phoenix still looking for their opportunity to lift up and change anything possible. And, well, let's see. Phoenix gonna just go for the Raven. Nope, they pull back at the moment. Obviously, the Raven's not being able to do anything yet, not being able to get close enough to the Colossi. Now would be the time to just do anything you can. He gets one Matrix off, so one Colossus gets nuked down. We're going to find the Robo facility to stop further Colossi being produced. That's a pretty big win for ByuN, who's continuing to knock down a chunk of units here. 6 probes going down. We dive into the main base. Some units reinforcing some Zealot Warpin's not going to do much, honestly, as ByuN might end up losing everything here, because obviously he's now backed up into a corner. To knock down that pylon would be kind of nice. Going to get the assimilator first. He actually will try and load and leave. He will get one medevac of units out. Yeah, I mean, the units get away. Obviously, the medevac itself will die. Well, they were getting away. Phoenix will just lift and clean up everything. Good damage from ByuN, but obviously, like I say, it comes at a cost. He does lose everything he built up until this point. Has a third CC now, though, and has a lot of reinforcements as he will move out to take the third. And obviously, the massive slowdown he puts on the Colossus production is a big deal, because now we're stuck with just 2 Colossi still. As the Robo facility now refinishes, we can maybe build ourselves a third, but yeah, it's way slower than it wants to be. MaxPax also supply blocks that Robo not producing until the pylon finishes. Widowmine going to get a connection here and knock a couple of those Phoenix low. There's no follow-up, unfortunately, and the Phoenix just low, not actually dead. Ghost Academy finishing soon, +1 attack finished, +1 armor is next in line. As not sure this lone Viking will make a difference. Obviously, by landing, it forces at least the possibility of lifting the Viking to kill it. As ByuN just continues to build Viking Ghost. What sort of timing do you think we see here? I wonder, like, just how aggressive or how committed to this timing ByuN ends up being. Obviously, I mean, he could just play the macro game, obviously continue upgrades, etc. The Viking Ghost combination does give him a little spike of power. MaxPax actually coming across the map. I think that's a bad call from him. Bam. 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 That's how you lose 4 Zealots. Yeah, and the Widow Mine's pretty important to keep on dealing with these Zealots that are likely going to be a big part of the reinforcement waves of MaxPax, so important to kind of keep those keep those Widow Mines alive and active, and even though they're not great against the Colossi and the Colossi can laser them down, they really do just provide a lot of value. Unless the Phoenix drag them on top of your army, in which case that's not exactly ideal, but that's part of the micro war that these two will engage in when these larger fights happen. Looking down this initial set of rocks, and we do see the army moving down to the south. When Phoenix already picked away at here, a couple of ghosts come through, and EMP will land. And the Vikings trying to get rid of the first Colossus, not quite able to. Super Battery doing a good job of keeping things stabilized for the moment. Got a couple of Zealots in the main base, not going to go do enough to really make a difference here, so good cleanup out of ByuN, not letting MaxPax do enough with the harassment. Obviously, Pros players can take control of these PVTs when the harassment starts to get out of hand. So like I say, it's good to just be somewhat on top of that. Colossus taking some shots. We do get rid of an Archon here, so one Archon already dropping down. The few Zealots continue to charge forward, and this Bioforce has to continue to retreat away. The couple of Vikings continuing to be chased. Knocking one Phoenix down, the rest of this Bio pulling back. The Zealots would love to kind of get back involved over there, but unable to for the moment. A few more Ghosts going down. MaxPax's army staying in the middle of the map as a couple more Widow Mines just going to blow up a few of these Zealots, so a lot of Zealots going down. Clearing up the left side very nicely. ByuN has a good army supply, but he's going to be kind of tested here. Zealots go into his main base again. Needs to continue his defense. He dives forward. He's going to have that first Disruptor as well going down. The EMPs were decent. Does he have enough? Some extra units from the bottom side. Spreading out to minimize what the Colossi can do. The Archons went out on the right, but the Colossi are left running on the right-hand side, and he will get the Disruptor to follow up from there too, so that is a complete clean-out. Like I say, the Archon was kind of doing a decent amount on the left. Oh, the Disruptor from downtown comes through, connecting and clearing up. The Zealots in the main have caused chaos. 10 SCV is dead during this. As ByuN's economy taking some hits. He did earlier kill the prison, which was huge, because otherwise he would have had more Zealots in the main base, and I don't know if he would have handled that very well at all. ByuN battling to get to base number 4. MaxPax sitting on 5 bases back at home. His 5th about to complete. Chaotic, messy fight on both sides, really. ByuN drops down a chunk of mules right away here to get this base operational. Obviously good to see. A little bit of eco coming through. Disruptor shot flies, but will not find anything. So let's around the left, just into that mineral line on the fresh base. Seeing what they can do. MaxPax reinforcing. ByuN still has good army supply compared to MaxPax. It doesn't feel like it, because it feels like he's all over the place trying to defend, but I guess that's the power of what MaxPax is doing. He is splitting up nicely to minimize the army supply of ByuN from being too effective. There are some Widow Mines I feel like they need to come into play here. Need to hit these Zealots just to chunk through them a little bit. Some Zealots that were on the right side go down pretty quickly. +3/+1 also finishing soon from MaxPax. Once he gets those upgrades, life will be a lot better for him. ByuN losing a few more SCVs, and this is the problem we're running into, that MaxPax has just got more and more workers. And he's just spamming Zealots across the map. EMPs go down. MaxPax has to respect that. Backs away before the mine shots, but now cleans out the Widow Mines. ByuN has the 4th base mining, but, well, yeah, it's just terrifying with MaxPax feeling free enough to just run units in like he is doing. ByuN's got to be so on top of every moment of these engagements. Like I say, MaxPax doing a great job to keep this active and to realize that he does have the chance to just keep on sending units forward. And keep on expanding too, just utilizing that big economy. As ByuN has to stand back, loses a few more SCVs before he can get forward enough to fight this. And as Zealots go into his main base, ByuN's just going to give it up. GG's, MaxPax gets the victory. 2-1 over ByuN. Unfortunately for ByuN, his run will end